Alfred's Christmas Carol. It was a few days before Christmas, and the engines were busy puffing back and forth all over the island of Sodor. The engines were trying to get their jobs done ahead of schedule before the holidays. Even the Flying Scotsman was helping out his engine friends to get ready for the holidays, and even the lady came back from the Magic Railway to help out on the most magical night of the year. One day Liz was carrying her mail train. She loved puffing through the beautiful snowy countryside, but suddenly, unknown to her, the points were frozen. There was no way to divert onto the runaway siding. Lizzie's driver slammed on the brakes, but it was too late. Liz crashed into the buffers. Luckily no one was hurt, but Lizzie's front was badly damaged. Her driver and fireman jumped clear before the crash, but Liz was very disappointed. Soon after, Edward and Thomas arrived with the breakdown train. Edward uncoupled from the train and took the mail the rest of the way, and Thomas and Jerome and Judy lifted Liz onto a flatbed and took Liz to the steamworks to be repaired. Sir Topham Hatt arrived and saw the damage. It did not look good. And Thomas puffed away. Soon Percy arrived to see if Liz was okay. He rolled up to the blue saddle tank. Then Percy puffed away, leaving Liz and the workmen stunned and confused. Percy found Sir Topham Hatt outside Knapford, talking to the station master. The station master was very cross. Then Sir Topham Hatt saw Percy. Sir Topham Hatt reluctantly agreed. And with that, Percy puffed away. Sir Topham Hatt turned away frowning. He was not sure if the engine he borrowed was the best of decision. Later, Percy collected his empty coaches and puffed to Wellsworth Yards to fetch his coaches as well as Lizzie's goods train and set for the docks. He arrived back in time to collect the passengers. The guard blew his whistle and Percy set off for the docks. He puffed his hardest. The snow fell and the icy wind blew against his face. Percy struggled valiantly on Gordon's Hill. The strain was too much for Percy, but he puffed bravely on. At last he made it to the top of the hill and puffed onwards towards Brendam Docks, just in time. Percy was too tired to reply. He was uncoupled from the trucks and got a drink from the water tower before heading back to take Lizzie's evening passenger train. Percy arrived at precisely 6:30. The snow was falling heavier than earlier. The passengers quickly boarded the coaches and Percy set off for the starlit night. Percy puffed his hardest and was able to complete his job in time. When he got back to the sheds, Sir Topham Hatt was there waiting for him. And Sir Topham Hatt left to go home, leaving Percy wondering who the engine was. The next morning, Percy awoke for the day's work and saw a green tender engine with a number 3 on his sides and an evil grin on his face. The yard was silent. Both engines puffed away to do their jobs, but Alfred could not stop thinking about Liz. Thomas, Gordon and Henry overheard the conversation. They were not pleased with what they heard. But I am sorry to say, Thomas was right. Along the way he saw Liz at the steamworks. Liz was shocked when she saw him. And Alfred puffed away, laughing. Liz was cross. Later that day, Alfred was very cross as he arranged his goods train, destined for Knapford Yards. The truck stayed silent at the subtle threat as Alfred puffed away crossly with his train. When he reached the yards, the station master came up and spoke to Alfred. Unfortunately, that was not the case, and it was very late when Andrew and Benjamin returned to the yard, red in the face and exhausted. They were hoping to have a nice rest in the shed. At that moment, a workman approached Alfred and his crew. He had bad news. With that, Alfred uncoupled from his train and puffed down into a siding, while the Diesel brothers reversed onto Alfred's cars and, though cross, left Alfred, who was furious at the remark.